SDT is DJ to zero hunger. Deep dive. Hunger is defined as the condition in which a person could not eat sufficient food to meet basic nutrition needs for a sustainable period of time. This topic covers a range of topics related to ending hunger, including achieving food security, improving nutrition, empowering small-scale farmers, and promoting sustainable agriculture. I'll be going this each of these huge goal with so many different dimensions, including hunger occurs in the most countries, but the dynamic of the problem are very different in developing world context. First target 2.1 Universal access to safe and nutrition food. By 2030, ends hunger and ensure access by all people, in particular the poor and more invul- vulnerable situation, including infants, to safe nutrition, nutri- nutritious and sufficient food of all year round. So this target really really about quantity of food. It's saying that we want to to achieve access to a sufficient amount of food, and therefore it's measured by both the prevalence of undernourishment and food nourishment and food security in population. So if we look first under nourishment, this is when the person is not able to acquire enough food to meet daily minimum diet energy requirements over a period of time of 1 year. So if break this down a little bit further, it's really only thinking about energy requirements, which means it's not necessarily looking at the quality of the food that one is eating, but just overall caloric intake needed to function. Easy to get found and food not readily available or in extreme case like a disaster or a famine where food you literally can get it. Well, more than 609 million people or 8.9% of the world population were undernourished in 2019. This was up 10 million people from 2018, and by nearly 60 million people over the previous last year. The points to enter and to an interesting and worrying dynamic global after a decade of improving combating hunger. In 2016, there was the first ever increase in the in rates of hunger, and that's the continue ever since has mostly been attribute to conflict and climate change. So changing weather patterns that are harder with changing weather patterns that are it harder to for people to find food or masking them need to migrate. Target 2.2 by 2030 in all form of malnutrition, including achieving by 2025 the internationally agreed that targets on stunting and wasting in children under 5 years of age. Under and address the nutrition needs to adolescent girls, pregnant, and lactating women and older person. So unlike the first target, which is focused on getting a sufficient quantity of food to meet energy requirements, this target really looks at the state of nutrition in the population. Food insecurity can lead to hunger. but it can also lead to poor diets of cheap food with low nutrition value, which can also interestingly lead to obesity. This is why this target also low at all terms of malnutrition, including being underweight and overweight. I think the World Health Organization definition gives this clearest picture of this. And so this is one I will refer to it state that malnutrition refers to deficiencies exist or imbalance in a person intake of energy and or nutrients. The term malnutrition covers two broad broad groups of condition. One is undernutrition, which is including standing, which is low height for age wasting, which is low weight for height, and underweight, which is low weight for age, and micronutrients deficiencies or influences, which is a lack of important vitamins and materials. So that on the underweight side, the other side is overweight, obesity, and other or that's on underweight sides. The other sides is overweight, obesity, and other diets related or non-communicable disease, just as heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and cancer. So again, the things that we might not think of hunger, but that are malnutrition, because they will create problems in our health and in population. So how are we doing on target 2.2? Well, malnutrition affects every single country around the globe. Approximately 1.9 billion adults worldwide are overweight, while simultaneously 462 million adults are underweight, in an estimate for 1 million in children under the age of 5 or the obese are are obese or overweight, while the same time 159 million are standing and 50 million are waist. 528 million of or 29% million are stand, and 50 million are waist. 528 million or 29% of women of age around the world or affected by anemia, which is caused by iron deficiency and poor nutrient, cause 45% of deaths to children under the age of 5, equal to 3.1 million children per year. So, unfortunately, the problem is malnutrition is getting us from both side of the spectrum, and it is extremely problematic. By 2030, double the agricultural product productivity. Target 2.3, by 2030, double the agricultural product productivity and incomes of small-scale food producers in a particular moment. Indigenous people, family farmers, pastoralists, and fishers, including through secure and equal access to land, other productive resources and input, knowing knowledge, financial service, markets, and opportunities for value additional and non-farmers employment. The importance of small-scale farming is small, something I had heard of that I just didn't fully understand until I start looking into this so that paint your picture of we were at there are 50 million smallholders farmers worldwide in the provide and they provide up to 80% of the food customized in the developing world. This is also evidence that small farmers are more efficient than large farms, particular in the continents like Africa and Asia. Agriculture is the single largest employee in the world, providing livelihood for up to 40% of the globally per population. It is the largest source of income and jobs for poor rural households. And this really highlights again the connection between SDG 20 hunger and SDG 1. For many people, their land is the sole asset in providing resistance for their families, but also their only income source. This is unfortunately other one of those frustrating targets where this is no comparable data to be able to get a clear assessment. This is methodology that has been developed for the FAO how to measure that this dimension, but the statistics are current only available in 11 countries. So we have a lot of work to do before we'll really be able to assess how we're doing as a global community target. 2.4 target. By 2030, ensure sustainable food production system and implement resilience. Agricultural practice that increase productivity and production that helps maintain ecosystem that strengthen capacity for adaptation to climate change, extreme weather, drought, flooding, and other disasters that progressively improve an oil system, land and soil quality. Like the general definition which can watch up her sustainable agriculture ultimately comes down to balancing economic, social, and environmental dimension. The economic dimension is this case refers to the productivity and profitability of the agricultural system to provide livelihoods for farmers and other agricultural workers. The social dimension focuses on the well-being of the workers on farms and in the food supply chain, as well as the benefits to the rural and all communities were really on farming and develop the environmental dimension, including promoting soil health, minimizing water use, and lower levels of population, including through pesticide and fertilizer associated with agriculture. And again, we do not have a clear condition of a productive and sustainable agriculture and how we are doing because there's still no comparable data, but those are the dimensions that make it up, and there is a lot of work to try and understand how much of our global agricultural system truly sustainable. Top target 2.5. By 2020, maintain the genetic diversity and seeds, cultivate plants and farms, and domesticate animals of their related wild space, including through soundly managed and diversified seeds and plant banks or the national, regional, and international levels, promoting access to unfair and equitable sharing of benefit arising from the utilization of genetic resources and associated rational knowing as if international agreed. There are approximately 400,000 species of plants on the earth, at least half of which are edible by human. However, according to the IDRC, modern agriculture agriculture has become and concentrate on a very small number of plant varieties designed for intensive. This means that the world food supply now depends on about 150 plant species, and of those 150, just to 12 provide these quarters of the world food. More than half of the world food comes from a limited number of variables of their Megina crops, including rice, wheat, and maize. Target 2.6 increase in investment, including through enhanced international cooperation in rural infrastructure, agricultural research, and extension service. The technology developed and plant and livestock gene banks in order to enhance agriculture, providing capacity in developed countries and particularly less developed countries. 2.7 Target 2.7 correct and prevalent target restriction and distortion in the world agricultural market, including through the parallel elimination of, all from forms of agricultural exposed subsidies, and all export measure with equal effect in accordance with the mandate of the Doha Development Round. Target 2.8 Adopt measure to ensure the proper function of food commodity markets and their derivatives, and facilitate timely access to market information, including on food reserve, in order to help limit extreme food price volatility. That's all. Thank you.